All right, guys, got all the video edited for stage 2 of the DJM 4.6 for the Silverado. Pulled it back in here. It was outside for a little bit while we swapped the motor for a friend. Got it back in. Going to pull this old motor and need to start working on the new one, the all aluminum 5.3 that we're going to prepare for boost. Anyway, take a little look at how it's sitting. Of course, none of the front end's on, and the new motor, being all aluminum, is going to be, I think they're 102 pounds lighter. Anyway, let me take a look. So these upper control arms weren't fitting very well. I'm just trying to, you can see where these, I guess from being tightened, they were kind of bent in. So I just adjusted them out of here so that with this big crescent wrench, just try and give me a little more room to get these upper control arms in. Also on the upper control arms, they said something about it, but be sure where they drilled for the Zerk fittings, the steel inner sleeve on the upper and lower control arms, be sure to look in there for burrs and get like a wrap file, which is a real skinny file like this, to get in there and get those burrs out. Let me show you what we're talking about here. Down in here where they drilled out for your Zerk fitting for the grease, on these inner sleeves, there's a bunch of burrs where the metal pushed through when they drilled it. Be sure and clean that out, file it, and then I used a little brake cleaner just to spray through it and wipe it off. Anyway, let's see how this fits now. Put a little grease on the ends of these bushings also. There we go. So you're supposed to replace the front slotted, let me see what they call them. Placing factory slotted alignment cams on the forward upper mount with cam lock plates. So the way I read that, I'm going to replace the forward with the cam lock plate. But the problem I was just noticing is on the driver's side of mine, on the back of the forward upper control arm mount, it looks like the alignment pin, actually ripped out at some point. So I'm going to have to look and see, I guess, about finding or making another pin and welding it in, I guess. Anyway. All right, I'll post the part number. I got these from Advanced Auto Parts. And I just use these pair of pliers, man. Just squeezed them on there. It said to use like lock jaws with a socket for a spacer, so you can put it on this side to, you know, press it in, but it pushed in real easy. So in the instructions, they say to use these cam lock plates on the front side of the mounts for the upper arms, and you're replacing these. You can probably see it right there. Yeah, see how it's slotted? Well, from the factory, both of them are slotted. This is supposed to lock it in place. Some of the factory ones on mine looked like some kind of, I don't know if that's like a factory lock plate or what. But anyway, so you can check it out. My thinking is whenever you go to align this, and I don't know, you're gonna have to back that off and then crank on this, because that's the one that's actually gonna adjust it, and then this locks it in place. So what I'm thinking is on the back side, because both these bolts were installed with the nuts on the outside of each of the mounts. And I'm thinking that that's where the cam lock plate needs to be, on the nut side, so that you can undo the nut and pull that cam lock plate off like so that you can adjust it. I'll let y'all know if whenever I go to get it aligned, if we end up having to do something different with the bolts or cam lock plates or whatever. Thought I'd give you a little demonstration of what I'm thinking here. I mean, I may be overthinking this, but so like there, I've got it in that middle position. And if you wanted to adjust it and you loosened it like that without pulling this cam plate off, the lock plate off, I should say, then it's not, whenever you go to move it, it's going to cock it at an angle, because it's holding, and it's not going to let you adjust it because it's holding that position here. So if you back this off, and then let me go back, get the tension off of it, so that you can pull the lock plate. See, and then that way you can adjust it where you need it and position the lock plate to match. Like that. And then tighten it down. If your lock plate, cam lock plate, is on the bolt side, which I guess you can still do it, I don't know, this just seems easier to me. Anyway, let's see how it works out, man. So whenever I went to adjust, because I decided I was going to adjust them to the middle position, so that was kind of, I don't know, makes sense to me that to start from the middle position and work your way from there. I went to adjust this one, and it actually popped out the cam alignment pin, I think they're called. Anyway, so you can see this is the one that knocked out. These are the replacement ones. I'm gonna go ahead and replace them all. I'm just gonna try and knock them out with a hammer. It said you could use a hammer and a punch, I think. Anyway, replace them all, since obviously they're gonna be a problem, it looks like. Not going in if we failed. So since I'm putting on new stainless steel, Russel stainless steel brake lines, they don't have this bracket here on them that mounts to the top of the knuckle. And so I'm gonna cut it right along here and just cut it off of this old line. And that way I can mount this bracket, and your ABS sensor has a little clip on it that clips on to hold it. And then the new Russel brake lines, you just take and zip tie them, like to the arms or whatever. Just like the other side, I'm gonna open these up a little bit with the big crescent here. Okay, that was stupid. So since we're gonna use a jet to compress this, anyway, gotta back off the damn sway bar mount. Yeah, I thought about that the other day. All right.
Down?
Yeah. So one thing, as you can see, the toe is majorly in. They said to turn in the tie rods, I think like 3 turns in. Looks like it's a little much to me. Anyway, we'll address that later. So the only thing I hadn't done for this 4.6 drop is the rear C-notch. And I was just looking, it is not sitting on the bump stops. The bump stops are actually, the rubber's all gone. I think if, I don't know what the camera's trying to do here. Anyway, I guess it's trying to show my FOD back there. It's not sitting on the, if there was rubber there, it might be sitting on them. But anyway, so it's at about the stance where it's going to sit. I'm going to add a roll pan to the back instead of replacing the stock bumper. Other than that, you know, like I said, start trying to get this motor sorted. Catch you guys later.